Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Brahmanandam Param Sukhadam Kevalam Jnanamurtim Dvandvatitam Gagana Sadrisham Tattvamasya Laksham Ekam Nityam Vimalamachalam Sarvadhi Sakshi Bhutam Bhavatitam Trigunarahitam Sadgurum Tam Namami. Om. Adorations to Brahman, the giver of supreme bliss, embodiment of pure consciousness, one without a second, vast as the ether, infinite, eternal, beyond the three gunas and their modifications, the supreme preceptor. Yoga Vasistha, Upashama Prakarana, section 56 continues. The topic is Samadhi of a sage. And that topic is for everyone. That's the ultimate goal. Not a single soul has to stay without attaining the goal. Soul and goal. And just to give you a simple understanding, all souls are like reflected suns. Sun is one, but there are countless vessels or countless things where there is some water, and wherever there is water, sun reflects. Now the sun, there are countless suns. Those suns are never separated from the sun. The reality is sun alone is. So when you think of your soul, you are using your conditioned mind. And conditioned mind is water. Water interpreting the reflected sun. That's a predicament. So everyone looks for God according to the state of their mind and what can be handled by their mind. Your mind is absolutely purified, then there is absolute revelation that soul is Brahman. Soul is the sun. And soul has never been in trouble. But the mind is not fully purified. Then in every container, the reflected sun is in different situations. I will not go into detail, it's easy to understand. So all souls are in turmoil based upon their mind. Remember always, 3 impurities, 3 obstacles have to be removed for attaining enlightenment. And it is done in and through your mind. Mind is like a mirror, darpana. And the whole project of spirituality is looking to see your face in the mirror of your mind. Your face, not the real, not the unreal you. Your face is the sun. But when you first start seeing your face, if a mirror has kind of a distorted type of surface, your face will look split up into many directions. So you will not see your face. Your face will be simply confused. That impurity is called mala, gross impurities. Anger, hate, greed. Mind that is messed up with those impressions. That type of a mirror. Mirror of mind is with mud around it. Now, each time you try to study who am I, your mind goes after past, future, blaming others for what you are, and so many things. Mala is removed by karma yoga. Doing your duties without going after fruits of karmas. Fruits of karmas are in the realm of time and space. If your goal is in the realm of time and space, then fruit of karma is important. But your real goal is not in the realm of time and space. No matter how great you become in this world, it will not last. The very earth planet will not last. So that is not the real goal. So therefore, nishkamya karma, your karma yoga must make you interested in understanding who am I. You may say, why should I have to do karmas? I just simply understand, sit back. But the fact is, if you do not allow karma, if you do not flow in karma, tamas grips your mind. The impurity in your mind sticks harder. So no way can you have a deeper revelation. So, karma has to flow in a karma yoga way. Allowing your interest to become more and more in your deeper soul. Who am I? Godward. If karma is done in the right way, your ego doesn't become inflated. If karma is not done in the right way, means karma you are doing out of egoistic interest for eat, drink and be merry and of worldly goal, your ego becomes inflated. So all that you are doing, your karma is securing your restricted neck. But if in your karmic movement, spirit of ego effacement occurs, when you really do good deed, your heart expands. Anything that brings delight at your heart level, during that time your ego bows down. This is one of the best characteristic of whether you are doing really good deed or not. If you are doing really good deed, your inflated ego begins to reduce. You hardly, when people praise you for good deeds, and you have really done it, you simply wonder, why are they praising me? A flower blossoms. It doesn't care whether people praise it or not. Blossoming itself is delightful. So, that's karma yoga. Next obstacle, suppose you have removed the wipe the mala from your mirror by karma yoga. Next obstacle comes as impurity moves away, begins to move away, and your face enters the mirror, but it dazzles you in such a way. I, who have been five-feet body, and now the face is showing cosmic, majestic. You can't handle that. That's called vikshepa. Now you are dazzled with what? Which face is my face? You have lots of possibilities of your face. You have 10 heads of Ravana. Vikshepa is removed by bhakti and dhyana. Both together is called upasana. Devotion, bhakti. Dhyana, allowing your mind to be focused. Focusing movement automatically implies you move away from illusions coming towards reality. A distracted mind moves away from reality into illusions. So bhakti and dhyana, devotion and meditation. The movement allows the vikshepa to be removed. Instead of going after so many projects in the world, countless projects with the idea of going into all hotels, creating a whole plan. Life is short, I must have maximum enjoyment. That we're trying to go out. Your vikshepa has taken over you. But as bhakti and dhyana reduce your vikshepa, now the mirror is free of impurity. From simile point of view, as if your hand begins to shake the moment impurity moves away and you are dazzled by who you are. Your hand can't handle the mirror. But dhyana and bhakti allow your hand to handle the mirror. Now you can hold. But you are so awed, your head suddenly comes down with great humility and hairs come down streaming over your eyes. Again you are shut out of seeing the face. That's called avidya, ignorance. Mala, vikshepa and avidya, also known as avarana. Mala, vikshepa, avarana. The avarana is removed by jnana, wisdom, that removes ignorance. And that doesn't require effort. It's just like if hair comes down over your eyes, all that you need to do is shake your head a little and you will begin to see. Ignorance is not a substance that you go after. It's just a veil of illusion, just a veil of darkness. And when you have light, you don't have to do any effort. Veil moves away. So that's simple plan. But let me go on with this. This theme is elaborated and brought again and again, called Gada Parinyaya. Is a hammer down on your understanding. That's the purpose of Swadhyaya. If you have heard something, same thing, hear it again and again until it does not stay only at intellect level, intellectual. It should become, theory must enter into practical level. An ounce of practice is better than tons of theory. He who sees the self in all, and all in the self, is said to be in the possession of a controlled mind. Whenever we say control your mind, this is a very advanced state of definition. If you have really controlled yoga chitta vritti nirodha, really controlled it means you have attained yoga. Your chitta vrittis have been absolutely restrained. The restrained state of mind means your mirror has become free of three obstacles, bala, vikshepa and avarana. If you have come to that state, then that's called you have controlled mind in this context. Since he sees the self in all, there is no possibility for him to become attached to any limited object. Sun sees itself in countless reflected suns. The sun has no need to become attached to any reflected sun. But if you don't see that way, then you see just to put it in a simple way, you see in the world near and dear ones and far outward. So your love stays with near and dear ones. And far out people, that's the shaky ground. But even with near and dear ones, there is not always. They become the source of real trouble, both ways. At times we become very loving, at times becomes very annoyed. Both become possible through near and dear ones. But if you are in a state where there is nothing, neither near, dear or far, all are me, how can you be attached to anyone? Or how can you hate anyone? Simple mathematics. In the absence of attachment, it is impossible to entertain hatred. Raga and dvesha, that's the most highlighted aspect of restriction in spiritual progress. Of course, I've already pointed out to you. By pointing out raga, dvesha, you are being led to understand kleshas. There are 5 kleshas. Ignorance, egoism, attachment, hatred, that's raga, dvesha. And abhinivesha means fear of death or clinging to worldly life. Out of these 5, if you just focus on raga and dvesha, and solution is equanimity of mind. The more equanimity, more quietness, greater is your awareness of who you are. And if you are constantly shaken by raga, dvesha, then your real source, who am I, that goes beyond, as if it is not important. What is important is to see your enemies crushed, your friends rewarded. And who are you? That then who cares? Now, all this is very advanced, and you must realize when we say all this, that doesn't mean that having understood, tomorrow we just shake them off before you get out of your bed. In theory you can, but practice requires a lot of patience and persistence, abhyasa and vairagya. Abhyasa, vairagya and surrender to God. This must, and abhyasa of what? Integral yoga. All four aspects of your personality, they are like the strings of a music. All the four, your karma, your feelings, the willing of the mind, will that controls the mind, and your reasoning, all the four, when they begin to flow, they are integrated. We use integration just to make you understand their functions. What we are implying, that you may think that you are just a karma yogi, but you cannot be just a karma yogi, you are also a feeling behind it. So if a person highlights, I am just a bhakta, I don't care for any other yoga, you can say so. But if you really want to be intelligent, not become dull-wit. If you have devotion, you have all other yogas. All the four are always there together, you can't separate it. And that together in a musical way. Musical chords harmonize and the melody comes out. These four chords harmonize in your daily life. That's the secret of happiness. And it's for all times. The same truth applied 1,000 years ago. The same truth will apply 1,000 years later. Harmonize, melody will come. Disharmonized, malady will come. Malady movement is Asuri movement. Sura has gone haywire. Davi movement is Sura movement. For him whose mind is immersed in the bliss of the self, this whole world becomes peaceful. So whenever all your interpretation about the world is a big distraction and terrible illusion, all the political knowledge about what's going on, that's not all the knowledge of the world. What's going on in your own body? Whole Kurukshetra going on. What's going on in your own environment, in your garden, in your whatever you have. Countless souls having their own stories. What goes on in a little river or a pond. Countless things. Countless human beings. And again, all this you are studying on the earth planet. which is just a speck of dust in the vast cosmos. In other words, don't think the human beings are just on this earth planet. There are countless. Going after all this is not the goal of life. All this is creation of Maya, Brahman manifesting in all this. And simple illustration, the very same nature or the plan of God has given you a very simple way to understand. The whole world is illusory. And what's the simple way? Each time you go to sleep, you slip into dream. In the dream world is as big as the world you are facing in waking state. But the entire dream world, where there is past, present and future, where all variations and multiplicities are there, they are nothing but your own consciousness expressing in the form of all these, just like so many reflections express in a lake. Lake has nothing to do with it, but the trees and birds and all things enter the lake. Look at it. See all of them. The lake doesn't know anything about it. Lake is consciousness. In dream, so if you study your own dream, what happens? And in dream, your experiences seem very real. If your car breaks down in your dream, it's very distressing. Until you wake up. You can wake up two ways. Even while dreaming, you develop an awakened state. There are times when people know this is just a dream. Dream has not gone away. But the very awareness this is just a dream makes you relax. And that's the project before every spiritual aspirant. Don't make the world real. It is not real. It's a जाकी रही भावना जैसी प्रभु मूर्ति देखी तिन तैसी. The entire world process, all that you experience is Brahman. But you experience the world led by your bhavana, your mental sentiment, your mental attitude. And no two persons see the world exactly the same way. And even you don't see the world, same way, even for few hours. So world is not a definite reality that you want to improve it and correct it. Behind all that, message is develop that attunement, harmonize your chords of your personality, and let the melody bring out the truth that all is eternal. It's called melody of eternity. That melody of eternity awaits. Otherwise, the only way you get to some rest is when you are in deep sleep. In deep sleep, the world moves away. Not completely, the subtle cause is there, but at least it gives you an illustration what happens. The whole world has nothing to do with you when you are in deep sleep. When your chords of your personality become harmonized, The entire world moves away from you, even though you are awake from ordinary point of view, awake to the world. Yet you view the world as a dream. Nothing in the world can touch me. So you handle all types of news, good and bad, with a balanced mind, serene mind. Serene like the sky, a sage beholds the self in all objects. He looks at a stone and a piece of gold with equal vision. This is the truth of God is not just in human beings, but every little item in the world, stones, rocks, every dust particle, every atom. To make it easy to understand, in your dream there are so many things. But what is real? Every particle of your dream is nothing but you. Very hard to handle, but it is simple to understand. Every particle of this world is you, not you as individual soul that is not enlightened. The reality of every individual is Brahman, Aham Brahmasmi, I am Brahman, the Absolute. And that Brahman is in every object of the world. So, to a sage, stone brings the same feeling, Brahman. Gold brings the same feeling. From a practical point of view, he will keep the values from a practical way. Someone has give a Mahatma gold, etc. He will use it for charity. He will not say it is just a stone and throw it away. In other words, do not view enlightened people to become dullwits. Lose any practical value. Spirituality doesn't mean that practical value is completely dumped. Rather, you handle your practical values with a greater skill. People don't handle their practical values with a calm mind. Your mind is calm and you have nothing to lose or gain. Then you handle everything in the best way possible. Yoga karmasu kaushalam. That's why Gita said, yoga is skill in action. And when you perform your duties with profound skill, you do not hold on about that work in your mind. Mind relaxes. But you don't do your duty well, then it continues to linger in your mind. For him, all the glories of the world, from the pleasures of the earth to the boundless glories of the world of Brahma, are insignificant. Just like all the glories of your dream are insignificant. You wake up, not a needle point of your dream stays with you. Similarly, all that an embodied person experiences, for every soul there is a special aspect of the world process. No two persons are experiencing the same world. Led by your karma, led by your level of evolution, you are in different stages. People may live together in one family, very cozy. But each one is in totally different world. And all that, and each one is fascinated to make his world best and to go viral in that world. But the world in which you want to shine, that world is illusory. Put it another way, if you were to gain all the glories of the world, all greatest attainments that people crave for, if you were to get all of it, you haven't gotten anything. It's called alpam, little. And if you could get your own identity, that's all the trouble. Who am I? Atmanastu kamaya sarvam priyam bhavati. For the sake of yourself, behind all that you do and work and struggle, the source is the instinct to discover who am I. You are trying to have the awareness of your identity. But the right way of gaining awareness comes in when you begin to harmonize, begin to develop the melody. But if you have melody type of movement, disharmonized movement, your I am goes far away. Your mind is wandering not to discover your identity, though instinctively that's your urge. But your urge begins to surge into something else. It becomes perverted. Such a sage may remain in poverty or abide in great fortune. We have all these stories of sages. King Janaka was a great sage. He was Videha. But he was ruler of a great country. His being a ruler didn't obstruct his highest attainment. So sages can be like King Janaka, or can be just an avadhuta, having nothing. Why he changes? Because every sage, his body, his embodied state has been due to karma. So different karmas continue to hold their bodies. Certain karma will make the sage very prosperous. To the sage it doesn't mean anything. Or certain karma make the sage very simple style, can't possess too many things. Sage is neither gaining by prosperity or losing by adversity. He may roam to prosperous countries or abide in desolate place. Some sages take big trips, international trips. And some sages just stay in one place, far into, even in a cave. All this does not in any way affect the attainment. External variations don't affect. He may dance and sport, or he may practice austerity in mountain caves. He may anoint his body with fragrant ointments, or jump into burning flames of fire. All these allegorical descriptions, so don't start doing it literally. But if circumstances develop that way, like Jesus was crucified, and many sages have ended their life in a very tragic way. But no matter which way it happens, to the world it seems very painful. To the sage, simple similes, think of the sky. A sage is like the sky. The sky appears to be celebrating when so many beautiful clouds come in and they all begin to dance, and little lightnings and little thunder. There is festivity going on in the sky. The sky is not touched. And if all of them become hurricanes and create lot of noise, striking lightnings and all that, the sky is not scratched. That is the simile, that's the way your heart must lead you. Here the heart is the real source of yourself. That's Satchit Ananda. That Satchidananda is that sky, and that's what you are essentially. He may perform acts of great virtue. He is beyond virtue and vice. In a statement, scriptures even use words like he may kill so many people. And yet he has not done anything. Writings are allegorical. To properly understand, when you are just watching a doctor, surgeon, he heals people, but there are times when he acts very cruel, sharpens his knives, puts the person in a state of coma, tears up his heart. All these ugly things he does. But all that whatever he does, he looks to the world, negative or positive. From him is always positive. He may live for a long time and may die in a short while. The enlightened sage is ever established in the self and is not affected by the illusory conditions of this world. जाको राखे साइयां मार न सके कोई, if you are completely under protection of God, if you have joined with God, you have become united with God, how can you be affected by anything in this world? Just as gold, whether it has fallen into mud or is kept underneath a crystal case, remains the same. Gold, no matter whatever condition you find in mud, in filthy state, or in a very glorious state, gold is gold. It doesn't lose its value. Therefore, cosmic mind is called Hiranyagarbha. It's the womb of gold. Hiranya is gold. And that's why the word Pitambar is used for Sagun God. Yellow robes. That yellow is gold. It's a symbol of Sattva. When an illusion of a snake is removed, one becomes happy to discover a rope as being the substratum of the illusory snake. You came from a big trip. You were entering your house in the hours of twilight, and you find a big snake. And you are completely shaken. And in that shaken state, you may fall down a little, scratch yourself abruptly, injure yourself. But then suddenly a revelation comes that it's not a snake, it's just a rope. Then all the turmoil that he faced simply disappears. The entire world turmoil is a snake aspect. The reality is Brahman, I am that am I. You go through all the dreams and you are just lying on your bed. That's a simple illustration. The entire world moves on, led by the mental projections. Mental projections are like drama show. You are watching the show going on as long as pictures are being projected on the screen in a certain speed. All the pictures you are seeing, there is nothing real. They are all broken up forms moving continuously. And while you have shaken yourself on the basis of the projections, good things you laughed so much, and then bad things you begin to cry and put your head and hit it against something. But all the time what you have been doing, looking at the screen. Similarly, all the time you have gone through your mind, experiencing the world process. So vast. But the reality, Brahman, the screen, is untouched. And more shocking, you are that Brahman. The real I am in you has not been touched. This is the greatest goal for all religions of the world. Ekam sat vipra bahudha vadanti. This is the truth. But different teachers will bring out different angles of the truth because they are surrounded by type of people who deserve a different, just like patients of same symptom may come to a doctor. And doctors will give different medicines based on their different states, different characteristics. So simply because sages speak of the highest in different ways, don't get confused. The ultimate goal is revelation of Brahman. Whatever action a sage performs, whatever he gives as a gift, whatever he eats, whatever he offers as an oblation into the sacred fire, he does all with the vision that he is not the doer, he is the self. Brahmamaya jagat, that's Brahmarpanam Brahmavi Brahmagrau Brahmanahutam, the Gita says. Everything that you do is nothing but Brahman. Everything that you do in your dream is nothing but you. The mind coming to enlightened state comes to that type of internal awareness that all things are happening through your nervous system, through your brain. This is your iPhone, iSet, iPad. And you can't secure immortality in the iPad. So in your nervous system, you don't find your goal. It has to move. But before it moves away, utilize the nervous system to attain, to practice integral yoga. And come to a state that your soul doesn't need it anymore. The soul has a revelation. Aham Brahmasmi. True identity has been gained. Then you don't need any more nervous system. If you have not gained it, you will be incarnating again and again. So with this I will conclude. Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushti Vardhanam Urvarukuma Bandhanan Mrityor Mukshiyama Mritat Sarve Bhavantu Sukhina Sarve Santu Niramaya Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschid Dukha Bhag Bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat.